Welcome back to what Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the 87. It's the Tier 7 British tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Halluf and is under the command of Brit on the NA, God bless USA. And that's the same player as GameSpoffin. Game started. Well, yes, we've said we'd have some replays by GameSpoffin. And this is the next one, probably on his NA account actually, to be honest. And the 87, well, it's an interesting tank destroyer, but, well, it's a bit peculiar because the gun's on one side and there's a massive weak spot directly behind it. That cupola is, yes, rather a weak spot, and there's a little machine gun turret in front of that as well. So, yes, you don't want to actually show that to the enemy if you can help it, because if they do see it, they'll more than likely penetrate it. Well, the KV-1S is being a nuisance. He's actually stopped in the way of Brit on the NA and tried to change his course. I'm not sure if that was his actual intention, but he's a bit of a dick for doing that, if you don't mind me saying so, because what he's done is he's just slowed it down and meant that more of his teammates are going to lose hit points before he arrives to start dealing some damage on the enemy. And I think it's because the KV-1S is a noob. Yep, that little red star next to his hit points indicates that he's a rather new player to the game, or he's a very inexperienced player and he doesn't understand the game mechanics yet. Now, the gun that Brit on the NA is actually carrying, 83.4mm, that's a 20-pounder. Capable of doing 230 alpha, penetrating 226mm of armor, and so long as he just pokes the left hand side, is it left hand side or right hand side? The right hand side of his vehicle around the corner and doesn't show the turret, he can deal a lot of damage on the enemy. But if he doesn't poke that round and he shows the turret as well, oh well, the KV-1S driver has just decided to lose his head and his turret as well. Oh dear. Okay, well, actually, Brit could have actually... No, don't do that, because that will get you for trolling. Brit on the NA is now engaging the enemy, and his teammates getting in the way as usual. Okay, we've got two tanks to fire right now. And he went straight through that KV-1. He's trying to penetrate the turret. Yeah, gets that one through. 246. High roll. And get another one in. No, go for the KV-3 now. He has a bit more difficulty. And I think that one hit the mantlet. And the KV-3 fired an HE round at us. But he got a round through that time. Very low roll though. Go for the KV-1. Yep, got the kill. He really shouldn't have poked. He didn't have enough hit points. And the KV-3, I think he's using him now to... as a bit of mobile armour. And oh, Cromwell, he's going forwards, but I think they are aiming for his weak spot most of the time. Cromwell's dead. I mean, it's a T20, it was actually pushing the wreck, I think. But now the KV-3 is in a bit of a difficult situation here because he's in the open, the T20 isn't. So we're going to put a round into the T20 first to make him pull back. And now we're going to go to town. The KV-3 actually did manage to get the cupola there. At least I think he did. And you can see that Brit on the NA has actually been hitting the cupola of the KV-3 because it shredded that little spot. He was getting shots in very accurately. That one bounced off the armour. The T20's come back. That one didn't get through. If he can just get it right, he can put another round in. And he does. This time round, not firing any premium ammo. And he fires a quick round at the T20 as he pulls away. Look, you can see the round went right through the cupola. And there was a couple of shots which were HE. So, yes, it is a bit of a weak spot, I'm afraid. Go for the T20. Yeah, nice one. Straight through the turret. Now, Stug. This is going to be interesting. Hello, Mr. Stug. Bye, Mr. Stug. Yes, he hasn't got the hit points or the armour to actually defeat this gun. Go for the box tank. Yes, nice shot. And he's down. T20 next. Don't go any further. Oh, didn't get that one right. He's pushing forward. You've got to depress the gun now. That one got through. 224. He's a one-shot. Took a round from the enemy Arty just before he died. T20 dies. 2 enemies left. T28 HTC and an SU100M1, and they're quite some distance away. But unfortunately, Brit on the NA is now down to just 23% of his health. Mainly because the enemy were actually getting accurate shots for a change. You can see where some of the rounds were hitting and bouncing off the armour. It's very strong armour. I think it was over 230mm in some places. But of course there were some weak spots. You don't aim for that gun port because that's actually quite a strong one. Go for this cupola on top. As you can see, it's very easy to penetrate that one. Now there's a bit of a peculiarity in the game, is that the 88 is actually the tier 6 British tank destroyer, whereas the 87 is the tier 7 one. And there's 3 tier 7 tank destroyers on the British line. There's the turreted one, the Challenger, the premium one, which is the AT-15A, and then there's this one, which is of course the AT-7, and that's it. Game's over. He wasn't going to get to that last one in time, and now he's doing his pirouette stage. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, first class tanker for Brit on the NA, God bless USA, in the AT-7. In fact, it's the first class tanker he's had in this vehicle. He managed to get a sharpshooter, a duelist, a fire for effect out of the minor medals, out of the epic ones, or battle hero rather. He managed to get a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a steel wall for blocking the most damage in that game. At least 11 shots and over 1,000 hit points of damage blocked. His win rate from the game was 7,333, which is Super Unicum standard. Very good indeed. Let's have a look at team score. He said it was an easy high caliber. Look at that, 3,061 hit points. Nobody had over 2,000 hit points except him. 3,061 to him. 1,614 goes to the Type 58. 1,584 goes to the KB3. Those were the 2 other players who managed to get substantial substantial damage. When it came to kills, though, it was actually shared between the AT-7 and the Type 58. Both had 3 kills, and then there was one player on Brit's team who managed to get 2, the Wolverine, and 2 on the enemy team, the KB3 and the T28 HTC, who both got 2 kills. In fact, actually, the T28 managed to get a cool header as well, so he must have been on the receiving end of a number of shots. When it came to base XP, he was the only player to get over 1,000 base experience points. 1,089 to Brit on the NA, 829 goes to the Type 58, 592 goes to the Wolverine. He fired 20 shots, got 17 direct hits and 14 penetrations, 3,061 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range. 12 hits received from the enemy, so he only just qualified for the steel wall because he needed 11 for that. 2 penetrations and 8 non-penetrations. I think you saw where those penetrations went. The one went straight through that cupola, and the other one was, I think, was an HE round that went in. 8 non-penetrations, though, didn't go through. They just bounced off the armour. 2 hits by way of splash damage as well. Yes, HE was fired at him, and 1,235 hit points of damage blocked. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 5 of the enemy, killed 3, and on a premium count he earned 47,592 credits, got 16,419 from holiday ops, total 64,011, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 43,377 credits. He received 27 bonds for that battle, 25 from Vene Vidi Vici and 1 each for the steel wall and the high caliber. 1,633 XP times 2 for the first victory, got 816 from personal reserves, took away 4,083 experience points altogether. So the AT-7, well, it's a bit like the AT-15, except I feel a lot more comfortable in the AT-15A, the premium tier 7, than in this one, to be honest, because this one, it does have that glaring weak spot. On the AT-7, on the AT-15A, that is, there is a weak spot, but most people tend to ignore it, which is weird because you'd think that they would go straight for the cupola and say, okay, I'll have that, and put them out the game. But no, they all seem to either go for the other false weak spots, which are the gun ports, the driver's port, or the lower plate. In fact, the lower plate of most AT-15As is peppered with shots which just don't go through. So yes, 87, it's easier to play if you have to go turn left all the time, because then you can just get the gun to bear on them and nothing else. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel. We've got another replay from Brit. In fact, actually, I think it's under his GameSpoffin name coming up. And thank you for watching.